Speed ramping is one of those techniques that can completely change how a scene feels. Speed ramping is a process of transitioning your speed over time. Done well, it draws the attention to a moment. Done badly, it jars the viewer out of the film entirely. So let's break down the full workflow, from adding speed points to smoothing the transitions, fixing the audio and getting the best possible quality from your retime. To start speed ramping in DaVinci Resolve, head to the edit page and select your clip. Right click and you'll see the option for Retime Controls, or you can hit Ctrl R for a PC or Command R for a Mac. That brings up the speed control overlay directly on your clip. You'll now notice that we have two thicker bars above and below. Click in the retime bar and choose Add Speed Point from the drop down menu. This creates a hard boundary where our playhead was. Now broken into two segments, each segment of your clip has speed percentages of 100%. Using the drop down arrow in each section will allow us to change that speed. 100% is normal playback, 50% is half the speed, and 200% is double the speed. We can add another speed point and check out some more options. Not only can we change the speed, but we could reverse, we can rewind, and we can create speed ramps that gradually increase the speed at certain intervals. You can also do freeze frames on a moment in your clip. We can even drag our speed points around to either increase or decrease the clip to the left, or change its speed value from the top. At the end of the clip, you can drag the cut point to make the speed segment longer or shorter. At the top here, we can increase or decrease the speed. This is where I would normally see people leave it there. They add a speed point, change the speed, and move on. Instead, let's take this one step further by creating a smooth transition between two speeds over a set number of frames. This means that the order of your speed points is very important. You want to ramp into your slow motion section and then ramp back out of it. To do this, we can come to our keyframes and curves editor either on the timeline or on the left-hand window found in the toolbar above. We can find our retime controls from the list, and if we click the curves icon and enter the curves menu, we'll be able to access our keyframes from there. From here, we can highlight those keyframes and select any one of the easing options from the top. This can later be refined by dragging the Bezier handles around. A recent update has introduced shortcut keys to make this process even quicker. Something that I've been doing for a while now is setting the ramp manually, about 10 to 15 frames on each side of the speed change. That gives you enough room for the transition to feel organic without dragging. Your audio needs to ramp too. When you change the clip speed, DaVinci Resolve changes the audio pitch along with it. Let's speed something up to 200%. What a lovely day. And our audio will sound a bit like a chipmunk. Slow it down to 50% and it sounds like a monster. What a lovely day. That instantly gives away your edit. To fix this, we'll return to the speed point drop-down menu and select pitch correction. Resolve will now maintain the original pitch regardless of playback speed. What a lovely day. These speed points and keyframe curves have been great, but we need to remember the footage we're working with. If, for example, we're working with footage of 25 frames per second, we do not have enough natural frames to slow down without some problems. You may have already noticed the jitters as it struggles to work through the frames before it stops. Luckily, there's some great ways in DaVinci Resolve to fix this problem. If we head over to the inspector and scroll down, we will see an area for retime and scaling. In our first menu for the retime process, we have a couple of options to choose from. Nearest is our most processor efficient. It will duplicate frames and prolong the time between, but it's definitely not the smoothest. Frame blend is also efficient, but it will add dissolves between the duplicate frames for smoother results. And optical flow is more processor intensive, but it has the highest quality generation of new frames. However, unpredictable cameras can still leave you with some artifacts. Our second menu is motion estimation. When using optical flow, there are a few more options to choose from. Standard, faster and better are processor efficient with good results. Enhanced, faster and better give better results where standard shows artifacts. And AI speed warp faster and better are suitable for high quality slow motion. To finish this up, I'll add an optical flow with an enhanced better. And that's the full workflow. Retime controls, speed points, 10 to 15 frames of ease, pitch correction, and your retime scaling set correctly. The speed change is the easy part, it's everything around it that makes it look professional. What's your go-to for smooth slow motion? Let me know in the comments if you're using Enhanced Better, or the AI Speed Warp, or something else. Thanks for watching, and cut.